called a podcast, y'all. Y'all already got to know we got it. If we up this early and we on here this early, that means something happened. So let me jump right in. I was at the corner store, right? Because I ain't been feeling good, so I went and got me some juice. While I'm standing at the corner store, I'm watching this lady who she's homeless. She don't even look like she should be homeless, if that makes sense to any of y'all. She doesn't look that way. And she's not asking for money. She's not doing anything, really. She's just there. And the police officer pulls up and he's like, "You're loitering." She's like, "You don't even know what I'm doing." And at that moment, I went and said, "Hey, miss, do you want a coffee?" He said, "Did she ask you for one?" I said, "No, I'm volunteering it." She's like, "See, you don't know what I'm doing here." She was like, "I would take an orange juice, and if you can, just give me a honey bun." If you looked across the way, it was a white lady. Mind you, this lady's a black lady. There was a white lady standing there doing the exact same thing, nothing, right? So I come out and I hand her the orange juice and the honey bun. And I looked at him, and he knew what I was gonna say next. And he was like, "What?" I said, "So you ain't gonna say nothing to that lady doing the exact same thing that she doing?" He was like, "I haven't had a chance to get over there yet." I'm like, "Well, is she being detained? Is she, you know?" He was like, "No, but panhandling she can't do." I said, "Well, she didn't panhandle. I asked her, did she need something?" Which I do every time I see a homeless person. I'll ask them, "Hey, have you eaten?" There's times I've given the shoes off my feet to a homeless person. I really look at how society is right now as far as uh, race goes, and I don't like to make things too much about that. But I realize that when you're dealing with ignorance, you have to be careful and tread lightly on how you speak and deal with people. I got upset for a brief second because when I see somebody mistreating somebody, it bothers me. I don't care what color you are. But if you're a police officer, I suggest that you do your job correctly. Somebody standing still is not the same as loitering. Loitering becomes when they start asking for things. Just you stopping to catch your breath because you just walked, like the lady said, she had just walked 4.5 miles, and her family was looking for her. So while I'm standing there, oh, there we go, I can see clearly now. While I'm standing there and I give her the food and the orange juice, I said, "Do you have a number to your family?" And we called her son, who's been looking for his mother for the last few days. I guess she had a paper that had numbers and she just handed it to me. And I called him and he asked me, he said, "Sir, if you tell me where you're at, I'll come and get her. We've been looking for her." I said, "Well," I told him the location. I said, "We'll stay on the phone till you get here." He said, "She lives down the street from there." I said, "Okay." I'm not putting her in my car. Mm-mm. So they pull up, 4 car deep, relatives looking for this lady, the matriarch of their family. I looked at the police officer who still hadn't went over and spoke to the other lady. And I said, "You see how quick you was to judge this lady not knowing that she was in distress. How you doing? How you doing? Good morning, Miss Martinez. How you doing?" And "Sub, how's it going? How's it going, D? How's it going?" And I say that to say this to y'all. Stop being so judgmental of people who look like they don't have what you have. Because in that split second, what if I would have just been in that mood of, I ain't gonna help nobody. I'm gonna do your thing. You know what I'm saying? What up? What up? What up? CB, what up? How you doing? Brody, how you doing? Um, we gotta stop being so. Matter of fact, let me put the poll up right quick. The poll is, would you help a person in need? Here we go. We're going to do the poll. If y'all can see what the poll is I just put up, go ahead and vote yes or no on it. And it made me understand that a lot of people are so hell bent on selfishness that they don't see what's going on. Depends on the situation. Well, what do you mean it depends on the situation? Okay, let me give you the scenario. If you see an old lady walking with grocery bags in her hand and she's struggling to get to her house, would you help her? Would you help her? Or would you just walk by and say they ain't got nothing to do with me? Now remember, we all got mothers. We all got grandmothers and daughters. Yes, I would. Okay. I just want to make sure that as society, we haven't lost our mind. Because the way I was raised was if I see my friend's mom carrying grocery bags, I need to stop and help immediately. And now I'm in a state of mind where if I just see anybody doing it, I just get up and do it. You know what I'm saying? Now, I'm not gonna help. There's people out here like, yo, can you help me with a couple of dollars? And the next time I see them, they don't use my money to go buy beer or something. Which I had to stop with that mind frame because alcohol might be their medication to get them through the day. Because I used to get pissed when I would give homeless people money and I see them with a 40 ounce or something after that. I'd be like, yo, did you just use my money to to go get you drunk? He's like, no, I use your money because this is what gets me through the day. Basically, he has to become a functioning alcoholic to make it through the day. And we look at people and we say, dang, how'd you get to this point in your life? That's not for us to ask. That's not our business. We shouldn't be questioning that. That's not nothing. And I'm looking like I'm so open minded now to a lot of things. Like there's a guy down the street, he's homeless, he has like 4 dogs with him. And there's times where I'll go grab a whole big bag of dog food or money and I'll hand it to him and because I know he loves the dogs more than he loves himself. And it's weird how in society that we've become so uh unbelievably nonchalant to everybody else's needs in the world. Yes, some of us got it better than others. Yes, some of us had to get it out the mud, but that doesn't mean that we forget how we got to where we got. I had a lady tell me not too long ago, she says, look, you walk around as if nothing bothers you. I said, listen, just because I don't broadcast that it's bothering me don't mean it ain't bothering me. What are you talking about? There's moments where I've been in a depressed mode and nobody knows. Because for one, I don't say it. People will assume that because you're always happy or you putting on a face for people that you're always in a great space. I don't know what to tell y'all. I come from a violent background, right? I tell people this. I come from a violent background, so you don't know what it took for me to become this calm. Now I pay attention. Like people will be like, man, he don't ever say nothing because I'm processing everything. An argument don't have to happen for me to get an understanding with you. I asked somebody the other day, I said, if you were standing in front of God right now, Jesus, you stand in front of Jesus and he's on water, standing on water. He tells you to come here, but don't look down. How many of y'all would just make eye contact and believe in what's going on, right? It's crazy how we're so wound up in material things that we don't get wound up in what's right and what's wrong. It's crazy to me. It really makes me look at people sometime and say, how did you get to this point in your life where your thought process isn't processing correctly? Like, I've been in the house, like, so let me explain. Tuesday, I started feeling dizzy, right? It's like, yo, I'm dizzy. I don't know why. Wednesday goes by, Thursday goes by. I'm still like, damn, I'm not feeling this. Yesterday happens. I'm like, yo, find out why, right? I'm in the house, and one of my best friends, he calls me up. He's like, yo, brother, how you feeling? I said, I'm good. I'm good. And he's like, yo, make sure you stay put, cause like I like to be on the go. So yo, stay put, man. Like at least give yourself 24 hours to chill. Your body will tell you when something is not right. Your body will tell you it's time for you to take a seat. And I was in the house, and I ain't gonna lie to y'all, sitting in the house all day is depressing as hell. But you can go in the backyard and chill. You can go in the front yard and chill. Just be to yourself, right? It's the little things that we forget to do. First, the good books say charity begins at home, then it spreads abroad, right? That means you gotta take care of self first. I sat down with I forgot who it was that we were talking. Oh, my boy Fox. We were talking about how to get further along than where we're at. Mind you, he got a nice big house, fully furnished, and he said, "Look, if a house don't mean nothing if the people in it ain't happy, then you just got a box." And that's facts. He says you be in a relationship with somebody, y'all got to learn the process of communication, right? I said facts. He goes, you ever seen two people together laughing, laughing, and laughing when they're together, and then somebody else comes and then the laughter stops? I said, yeah. Why is that? He said, because now the mood has changed. The person you're with was just laughing with you. Y'all were having a great time. It was amazing. And then a person that they had talked all this crap about you to shows up, and now that person's energy throws y'all's energy off. He says, what is it that you do? I said, I tell him, let's go. Because I get it. In life, some things ain't for everybody. Everybody should know your business, right? I'm at work, and one of me and my employees will sit down and we'll say, they'll just say, hey, can we talk? I'm like, yeah, what's the matter? And unlike other supervisors, like I'll actually listen to what my staff is talking about, and like I'm a person that says, don't just come with me with a problem. You better have a solution with it. And once I sat down and I started listening and listening and listening, I was like, okay. And then when they were done, I said, okay, I got the problem part. Now what's the solution part? And they had no solution. And what I realized, when people you deal with in corporate America, as I call it, when all they can do is point out the bad, you got to give them time to go find the good. I said, now go find a solution for me. I already have the solution, but I need you to go find it. It's different when you have the solution for them versus they go find the solution and bring it back to you. Because then you can say, yeah, but let's also do this to make it easier, to make it better, right? I had a teacher. She disrespected one of my kids, right? My kid calls me. I'm thinking, like, that's the worst thing ever. No, the teacher singled my child out in front of a whole classroom. And I was like, okay. I go, I speak to the principal. The security guard was there because I like to have witnesses around me when I talk to people, because it can go another way, right? And as a parent, I had to put my parent hat on, but I also had to have my employee hat on so I can understand it from both sides, right? If you want children to respect you, you can't disrespect them. And I say that respectfully. Adults think because I'm an adult, you have to respect me. No, they don't. No, nobody has to respect you. It's a give and take, depending on the situation. An adult will tell a child, you need to go and do this, whether it's right, wrong, or the other. I'm not doing that. It doesn't make sense. Why would I do such a thing? Because I said so. Nah, that ain't good enough. That can get me locked up. So when you're in a school setting, right? And this is why a lot of schools fail. This is why a lot of kids are the way they are. You place rules in effect, right? You have a dress code, you have stipulations of how your behavior is going to be. You tell a kid see-through backpacks only or mesh. The moment you allow one kid to bring a backpack in that doesn't fit those criteria, the rest of it don't matter. No open-toe shoes for staff. You look down, staff got open-toe shoes. So you want kids to pay attention to the rules, but you don't want your staff to follow the rules, right? When I got my position, right, I used to wear sweatpants to work, rock them, because they were comfortable. I drive a bus, right? The new boss came in. She's like, let me holler at you. I said, all right. She says, I need you to dress more professional. I'm like, for what? I drive a bus all day, man. Like, it's hot. You don't want me to wear shorts. You don't allow me to do nothing. You just want me to be... No, I'm not doing that. She's like, let me explain to you why. I'm about to put you in a position and you got to look the part. I said, what? She said, yeah, I wasn't going to tell you, but I need to tell you because I see, like, she said, ain't nothing wrong with your fit. Your fit is good. But now what I got planned for you, I need you to look the part. And man, I go get a collared shirt. I come with the swag, and I'm focused now, right? And then she said, now, what's the difference between what you had on and what you have on? I said, I don't know. I don't know. Other than I'm uncomfortable. She said, you uncomfortable because you so used to being whatever that you just came to work to come to work. Now you come to work for a purpose. So you're absolutely right. So there's times when I come to work, I'm like, man, I just want to be in some shorts right now because it's hot as a motherfucker out here, right? But the process said, if you want to get ahead, you got to pay attention. You got to follow the criteria. So when I see a teacher telling a kid to shut up, hold on, partner. You can't talk to a kid like that. Hey, man, I need you to relax. I get more respect from a child than the actual teacher get from a child because our understanding is different. Now that I'm in place, I speak to my staff the same respect that I once wish somebody would have spoke to me about, right? My staff be like, yo, you ain't changed. I wasn't supposed to. The person didn't change, just my responsibilities did. You understand what I'm saying to you? You don't have to be out of pocket to get somebody to do what you're asking. Not what they're told, but what you're asking them. Because if you tell a dog what to do, you ask a human what to do. There's a difference. I back in the day I had went to a church and I remember the pastor was just talking. And one day he said, you know, sin is a crime. I said, okay. If you sin, you commit a crime against God. Okay. And then he said, when you don't give offering or tithe your money, you're sinning against God. Well, hold on now. I know you need to tithe. Offering is voluntary money. Tithing is what God said you must do. But offering, like you give an offering if you can give it. And when I spoke to him about it, I said, Pastor, I got to explain something to you because what you're saying is not correct. The Bible says I must tithe. I got to tithe. My mom tithed for me all my life, right? I'm just going to start learning how to do it correctly myself. I said, but offering is if I can give you an offering, I can give you one. They don't say I have to. Show me where it says I have to. He said it doesn't. I said, then why would you say such a thing? The next time we had church, he corrected it. See, just because you sit high don't mean you can't learn from the low. You have to also understand this. Your upbringing says a lot about your upkeeping. They are, somebody said, how many sisters you got? I said, I got six. Six sisters. You the only boy? Yeah. You ride for all your sisters? Absolutely not. He said, why not? I said, let me explain something to you what riding for your sisters mean. If they making mistakes that they keep making, they got to get themselves out of that situation. That's why I don't ride for them if they make mistakes and they keep making the same mistake. I can't ride for that. Now, as their brother, if they're doing something and somebody comes and tries to cause harm to them, like beat on them or something, yes, I ride for them in that sense because it's my job to protect them from those who would try to harm them. Absolutely. But if I don't see you making changes to make your life better, I'll leave you where I found you. But they say, man, you got six sisters. Do you know how crazy your life must be? I said, not at all. See, I got a mother. I got four daughters. I got three sons. If you do the math, I got seven kids total. But I took care of them. Nobody had to tell me to take care of them. I paid. I did what I could. I never said no. I just did it. That's the difference between a boy and a man. You go out here and make a bunch of kids, it ain't the state's job to take care of your responsibility. It's your job to take care of them. And don't get it twisted. Ladies, let me tell you something. Stop just laying down with whoever, whenever, however. You know what I'm saying? You gotta what you got going on in your life. Just cause he cute, just cause he got a nice little car, that don't mean nothing. Look at how you if a man treats your kids better than he treat his own, he gotta go. If a woman treats your kids better than she treat her own, she gotta go. Y'all should be treating them the same. Well, damn, Carter, man, do you ever understand that sometimes people just get tired? Yeah. Yeah. I don't care about nothing but what's right. If I did something to offend anybody in the world, I've apologized to them. But you know what I haven't done? I haven't offended them again. See, you have to realize, like me and my mom had this conversation. I said, man, my little cousin calling me. Um, I said to my mom, I said, sitting in my car, I said, I can't help you anymore. And I explained to her why. And then she gave me, like, well, let me explain this part. And then we both had an understanding. Because my train of thought is like, Mom, I'm doing this, and this, and people only come around when they need help, da da da. And she understood where I was coming from, but she said I wasn't coming from the right spot. But she understood as her son, she got it. But as her son, after she was done, I had to understand where she was coming from. I got it. Because I feel like when you do something for somebody, right? When it's your turn to have it done for you, where's everybody? And my mom said, well, you don't do for somebody hoping that they do for you later. I said, yeah, but when you help people, those same people should return the favor when they know you in need, right? She's like, yeah, they should, but they probably ain't. No, okay. Just like that. The conversation was done. All right. Because we look at society and we look at those around us to try to better every situation. I had a cousin text me the other day, and he was 100% genuine about why he called. Kinfolk, my check ain't clear. Can you look out for me on some gas? I'll give it right back to you. Cool. I ain't gonna ask you for the money back because I ain't gotta look for you. Because I live by the code of if you take my money and I never hear from you again, I just got rid of you at a cheap price. I live by that code. But he bling right back to me. He probably one of the few family members I got that can ask me for something and get it without question. If I got it. Because I ain't going to tell you that lie. If I have my last dollar, I give it to you. No, I ain't going to tell you that lie. I'm not giving you my last dollar because that means now I'm struggling. If I got $2 and I'm able to part with one, I look out for you. But I'm not finna break bread with you and give you my last and I ain't, now I'm stuck. No, I'm not gonna tell you that lie. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people say, I heard a man say, you gotta live life like it's your last day. I'm living life like God gave me today. He didn't say it was my last day, he just said live it today. He didn't say live it with stipulations. I'm not gonna live my life with stipulations. That's crazy. I stand tall. I stand on business. I got family members that I wish could get it together. I got a father who's a deacon and a mother who's a minister. And I don't never want to talk to the minister or the deacon side when I speak to them. I'm 100% clear on that. I want to speak to my mama or my daddy. That's it. I don't want to speak to the man of God or the woman of God. I want to speak to you because what I got to say might not be for the ears of the deacon or the minister. That's facts. I'm going to talk to you the way I need to speak to you because I have to get it off my chest. My son, my youngest son, just came back from Baylor University. He was on a trip, a gaming trip. He was gone, and he played against the top 1,000 Super Smash Super Smash Bros. Players in the world. In the world, he comes back, calls me up. He's like driving back. He's like, Dad, I'm number 5 in the world. Number 1 in Texas, but he's number 5 in the world. And I said, proud of you, Dad. I got it. He said, you got it? He said, I got it. I said, okay. He said, we gonna talk. Because he was tired. He was, none of his classmates went, but other people from the Region 20 area went. He said, it's amazing that I even made it to this point. Number 5 in the world. Number 5. You know what I'm saying? How you doing? How you doing? And he said that his teacher told him, you're so good at what you do. Anything I put before you, you handle it. That's life, y'all. That's life. I wish I could have been down there with him, but like I said, I've been sick. Um, I'm about to go and quarantine myself for a few more hours. And then when Sunday Fun Day come, I'm gonna go to check out some. I ain't gonna tell y'all what I'm about to do, but I'm gonna be gone for a couple hours and then come back and relax. You have to remember. I had a school teacher say to me. She says, "Why is it so hard for kids to learn?" And I'm gonna tell you something, and this is gonna probably hurt people's feelings, but it's okay. It's hard for teachers to learn. I mean, for kids to learn because they don't have teachers that want to teach. I got proof of a teacher right now sat in the classroom on her phone while she just handed her kids some work and said, "Get to it." How do you expect kids to learn like that? If I run a school, if I run a school, guess what's going to happen? I'm going to guarantee you that there will be cameras with no audio in your classroom pointed at the teacher's desk, at the board. So I know how often you're getting up to help a child, how often you're getting up to teach your actual class. See, back in the day, we didn't have to have all them problems. We had them older ladies and older gentlemen that as soon as you walked in, they gave you an assigned seat because they could tell from off the gate which students are going to need the most help. I was one of them students that used to sit in the back of the class. I remember my teacher said, no, no, no. You sit right up front. And I would sit there because in the back of the class, you doze off, boy. You go to sleep. But I had a teacher, and I thank her every time, like for getting. Her name was Miss Braslaw, and she told me, she said, "You smart, you athletic, but you lazy." I said, Miss, we talking about passing your class with flying colors. She said, yeah. You wake up, you test better than any kid in my class. I said, well, what I'm not sleeping. I'm just closing my eyes. I got the information. She's like, yeah, but you do it so easy. Everybody else is doing it hard. I said, what they got to do with me? Why am I not using you to help them learn too? All my sons are on that type of time. They geniuses, basically. Teach them something one time, they got it. I look at life and say, what if we just went back to those days? Half of the people that you live next door to, you don't even know their name, you don't know their kids, you don't know nothing. I can't make people understand how important it is to find your lane and get in it. That don't mean you gotta stay in it. Because sometimes you gotta veer to the right, sometimes you gotta veer to the left, sometimes you can stay in the middle, depending on traffic. If you're not built for success, learn how to get built for it. And don't let nobody stand in your way. You know how many people want to stand in your way because they're jealous that you decided that you were going to be successful? A lie. They just don't say it to your face. Smile and enjoy life. All right? Thank y'all for tuning in to the podcast. I'll see y'all probably later on today or first thing tomorrow morning. All right? Peace.